This is the Height Differential. That's the 6'6" Neil. I'm the 4'10" Nick. We are back. I said Nick this week. Make sure you are following us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, however you get your podcast. Hit the subscribe button. You can also watch the full video on YouTube. Follow us on social media. You can see all the shorts. Been stuck inside all week because we didn't get the big snow that everybody was talking about, but still enough.
Yeah, once again, the meteorologists get it wrong, as they usually do. They get y'all hyped up. They think, they get y'all hyped up. They make you think that the city's going to shut down, so everybody has to go to the grocery and get their milk and eggs and bread and form a line that's about 2 miles long just to check out, all to come home for nothing.
Well,
you think like the Krogers and the Walmarts of the world are like in cahoots with the weather people?
Well, I don't understand why everybody needs milk and bread so bad.
Why
are those the things?
I don't know.
Why can we not survive without milk and
because a loaf of bread and a gallon of milk will last you several days. It's not something that's going to go.
So will
bad
frozen vegetables that you can already have in your freezer. And
yeah, but what if you lose power? What if you lose power?
Well, you're going to lose your milk too, there, Neil.
No, you can sit the milk outside. You can just sit the milk outside in the snow.
So you can't put your frozen vegetables outside in the snow?
How are you going to cook them? You going to eat frozen vegetables?
Make a fire.
Make a fire. Oh, now we're cavemen, huh? We're going to go chop down a tree? We're going to go chop down a tree and just start a fire in the backyard and roast a bag of vegetables? Like, come on, bro.
I can't tell you the last time I bought a gallon of milk. Obviously, you buy bread, but if I don't have bread for a week, I can survive.
On your frozen vegetables,
I know for a fact.
On your frozen raw vegetables.
I know for a fact I am not messing with the crowds and standing in those lines as we wait for the snowstorm. That would we end up getting officially 6 inches?
I think it was a little less than that. 5.
They did that. They did that competition for charity. And I think the lowest prediction was like 12 inches.
Yeah, no, they all got it wrong again. I don't know. They get paid to be wrong. That's what it is.
There's no repercussions. It's just like we talked about earlier in the year. We talked about that referee in Russia getting canned because he did his job wrong. We said, should there be more implications on screwing up being an official? Should there be more implications for meteorologists?
100%. Absolutely. You keep getting this stuff wrong, you should get fired.
I mean, I get it. It's hard. I would have no idea how to do it, but they studied it. Like, let's do better than, like, not one person was close to 6 inches.
No.
Not one person. And who knows if we even got 6? I haven't got out and measured it, but it's not that much. I do know one thing. It's not going away because it's too dang cold outside.
It is cold. It is cold. And I mean, we're back to work tomorrow. How you going to get to work?
We'll get in that car and go.
So you could have left your house if you wanted to.
Yeah, for sure.
You just chose not to.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
Do you even own a snow shovel?
I mean, I'm not gonna use it. I
know you're not gonna use it. That's what I'm asking. I know you're not getting out there and shoveling. I will
just drive back and forth with my car, create tire tracks.
I mean, that's what I do normally.
Yeah.
I did shovel this morning.
My car's sitting in the garage, so
as long as you can get your car in and out, as long as you can get your car in and out of the garage, and you can just enter in and out of that door from the garage of the house, there's not a reason to shovel your driveway.
We good.
But you don't own a snow shovel, do you?
No.
I knew it.
The kids in the neighborhood, I missed them on my ring cam, but they would have done it. I don't know what they're charging, but I missed them on the ring cam.
Oh, you can't. They come door to door. They ring the doorbell and ask to do it.
They did.
What do you think they should? What would be the going rate right there?
$50?
$100? $50? You throw in an extra 50 if they do do you have a sidewalk?
I do not.
All right, so throw in an extra 50 if they do your steps in your porch.
Yeah, but we definitely wasn't the snowmageddon that everybody said it was going to be. 1994 wasn't even close.
No.
I mean, I'm at the Cards game on Saturday, and everybody's freaking out at the men's game. Like, when do I need to leave? I need to leave. It's coming down. It's coming down. I mean, no. Wasn't that big
No,
a deal. It was a
no.
bigger deal in the second half in Denver on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, the amount that came down quick. Quick.
Well, and well, it's just like the first half, it was completely clear. Like midway through the third quarter, still clear. And then by the 6-minute mark of the third quarter, it's completely covered.
Yeah.
And not a lot of offense to be had. I think it was to be expected in that game, even without the snow.
Right.
With those two defenses, with those two offenses, you didn't expect there to be a ton of points.
Correct.
The Denver has a chance to go up 10-0 early. They pass, they go for it on 4th and 1, don't get it,
Yeah.
and they don't score again the rest of the game. If you go up 10-0 in that game where points are that hard to come by, you're feeling pretty dang good, and I think Peyton is definitely regretting not getting those 3 there.
Yeah. Do you like was there snow in the forecast? Like, did they know the snow was gonna come in the second half?
I would assume that you would know that there's a very good chance that there's gonna be some
I'm
snow.
thinking if you're
Now we
Sean
see
Payton,
how tough it is to predict snow accumulation.
I mean, correct. I mean, if they knew ahead of time that this was a possibility that the second half could get a little dicey with the weather, then I don't understand why you don't kick. I
I
would have kicked. So that's
in
why I'm
that
saying maybe
game,
Sean Payton didn't
regardless,
expect maybe he didn't expect this weather to come in like it did,
I mean,
but
the snow plays a bigger role, but even without the snow, with those 2 defenses, if I've got a chance to get some points,
yeah, when your
I'm
quarterback is
taking
Jarrett
them.
Stidham,
I'm
when your
taking them.
quarterback's yeah, no, I agree, and especially the play call, he threw the ball on 4th and 1 instead of yeah. I think you take the points, you go up to 10, you have all the momentum, you're at home, you're up 2 scores with one of the league's best defenses that the Broncos have, and you got a quarterback that, he played pretty well in those. I mean, the opening drive was a disaster, but he came back on that second drive, threw a couple of nice dimes, threw a deep ball that looked pretty good, threw that touchdown pass that was on the money, and, he actually looked like a competent quarterback that, maybe the Broncos have something here. They moved the ball, and they moved like I said, they moved the ball in that third drive where they ended up not kicking the field goal, but at some point, you thought that was gonna run out. So I think you just take the points,
Well
try to get as many points as you can and not roll the dice with Jarrett Stidham.
well, it ran out. I don't think they had a bigger play than 12 yards the rest of the way,
Yeah.
and, I mean, it's not like the Patriots were lighting up the scoreboard. I mean, they were handed a
No.
touchdown. They
I
were
mean, yeah,
handed a touchdown,
the only touchdown they got was because Jarrett Stidham lost his mind and two-hand shovel passed it backwards.
and I still don't really understand what that play was.
I don't know.
Like, what the call was, any of it.
I mean, just throw the ball away, my guy.
Did he
It's
clearly throw was he clearly throwing it backwards?
I
Did it
mean,
get
he was
tipped and
trying
then
to
it went
throw it
backwards?
forwards. No, he was trying to throw it forwards, which there was nobody over there, so it was gonna be an intentional grounding anyway, and you would take that over a fumble 6, but
Well,
he was
yeah,
just trying
and
to
they
get
announced that.
yeah, he was trying to get rid of it, but his momentum was going so far backwards that what he thought was a forward pass ended up actually going backwards. Oh,
And then
that's
and
weird.
then they blow it dead, so even though they picked it up and took it to the house, it
Yeah.
doesn't count. So then they've gotta score offensively, and Drake May ends up scrambling and getting in the end zone, but, I mean, the rest of the way, neither offense did anything, and then the snow starts coming down, and then yards even are more difficult to come by, and the Patriots in the 4th quarter were just like, "We're just gonna run it 3 times in a row and give you the ball back." If they weren't even if we get a first down, we get a first down. We're more trying to eat the clock, and they just knew that Denver wasn't gonna be able to move the football and score.
No, and then when Denver had a chance to kick the tying field goal, it's almost like they were
Yeah.
complacent with just trying to kick that field goal. They're like, we're just gonna kick it. Instead of trying to move the ball closer, they just kind of just ran some vanilla plays and like, all right, let's try this. I mean, how long was it? Do you remember how long that
I think
kick
it was like
was?
45, 46
Which,
yards.
yeah, which in though that snow, that's asking a lot. That's asking a lot of your kicker, Will Lutz. So
Yeah. But it looked like the kick was online, it just got tipped.
There was one that got tipped. There was
Yeah.
another one he actually just missed. Yes.
But it just you go back to Vinatieri making that kick in the snow at the beginning of Brady's tenure with the Patriots, and it makes you realize how good of a kicker he was, like, being able
Oh,
to
yeah.
withstand those elements, but
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, like, we knew that this was not gonna be very many points scored. I think the over under was close to 40, which was easy, easy, easy under. I got
Yeah.
hot this week. I actually hit some, got
About
hot.
time.
Um, but yeah, you just if you get a chance to get points in a game like that, I feel like you gotta take them. And it just changed the whole, notion of that whole game and them not going for it. Really, in any game, if you're up 7-0 and you get a stop on 4th and 1, and now you've got the momentum on your side. That kinda completely changes the complexity of the game.
Yeah. No, I mean, it comes down to 2 plays. It comes down to that, not kicking, and then it just comes down to that fumble, whatever shovel pass. I mean, he doesn't just do that. If he just throws the ball away like normal, the Broncos probably will still win that game.
Well, if you just yeah, you just go
Like,
down. You just
just
go down
anything.
and punt it.
Anything but what you did, yeah. I mean, because then
And
uh,
and obviously the missed field goal attempts. They had
yeah.
chances to tie the game and they didn't do it. But it's brought in a lot of talk about the fact that the elements really played a huge role in that game.
And it did. They did.
So it's been discussed, just like the Super Bowl, where it's played in controlled elements, mostly domes. Should the AFC and NFC championships be played in more controlled environments? So the snow and all that is not playing such a big role in who goes to the Super Bowl.
You can make a case for it, and, I wouldn't be mad at you if that was the decision of let's play this thing at a neutral site in a dome so we get the best brand of football. I mean, so it's truly the best team wins, and you're not relying on where the rain and the snow and all that comes into play, and it's a 10-7 game because, honestly, I'm not sure that the Patriots were the better team. I don't think they were the
I
better
still
team.
don't think either team's very good.
They're not. But I don't think that the Patriots were a better team. I think if the conditions were fine, I don't know. We would see. But then, so I mean, you would get a pure brand of football of offense and defense. Who's better? The best team would probably win in that situation if you were indoors and away from the snow and stuff. But then you're just taking away that home field advantage that the number 1 seeds and the number 2 seeds have earned.
So you
I mean,
for it or
you
not?
earned it. What?
Are you
No,
for it or
I'm
not?
gonna on record. I'm gonna say I'm not for it. I'm not for it.
Well, this is on record.
Yeah,
We're not
no,
doing
I
off the
listen,
records
you could make
on
the
the height
case,
differential.
no, like, you could make the case, like I said, to play it in a neutral site indoors, and I'd be fine with it, but on record, no, I like having the home field advantage. If you're the number 1 seed, you've earned that, like, that's part of what comes along with having such a great season. You get to play in your own building, and if your own building is outside, then so be it, you know? I mean, snow games aren't that common. I don't mean, when's the last time you saw a snow game in the AFC Championship? It's been a
I
while.
don't know off the top of my head. The Freezer
I feel
Bowl
like it's been a
and
while.
the Bengals beating the Chargers in the Freezer Bowl in the early '80s. Um,
And then, like, the Tuck Rule game, that was a divisional game, I believe,
mhm,
wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
mhm,
So, I mean,
but
it's been a while. I mean, they're not common. They're not common enough to where I think you need to go away from getting rid of home field advantage to play indoors. So I think you keep it. Number 1
well
seeds have earned it. Let them
well,
play in their own buildings.
you were the one that wanted to talk about it, so I thought maybe you would be in favor of moving it, but,
No. I
okay.
mean, I can see why people would want that, but I no,
Well,
they've earned it. But plus, these snow games are going away. All the new stadiums being built, Buffalo's gonna have a dome, Tennessee's gonna have a dome, Kansas City's gonna have a dome, Chicago, when they get their new stadium, is gonna be indoors. I mean, all these cities wanna host Super Bowls, and you're not gonna host a Super Bowl unless you have a dome stadium. So, any new stadium, in 10, 15 years, it's gonna be very rare unless you're in Southern Miami or if
well,
you're in
Cincinnati, because 'cause they're not getting a new stadium.
no, it's we'll put a bubble up before we build a new stadium. Um, unless you're Miami or Cincinnati or somewhere down south where the weather's warm, you're building a dome. So all these stadium like Minnesota, I mean, everything's just going to be a dome. So
So
in 15 years, you don't even have to worry about it.
but, I mean, to me, absolutely not. No. Like, you played the whole season to get the top seed, you deserve to have home field advantage in the AFC or NFC championship. And for everybody who's like, this is unwatchable, I don't want to watch a 10-7 game in the snow. To me, you get 34-31 games all the time in the regular season. If I've got a 10-7 game in the snow, you think that's not going to make me want to watch? Snow game, I'm absolutely like I was going to watch anyways. But there's something intriguing about these weather element games. When you're playing on Madden, like when they first started having the elements on Madden, you weren't going in and putting in the snow just to play on it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
playing
Of course
outside when there was snow on the ground, playing football in the snow. Like, I don't like, why would we want to get away from that just because we had a 10-7 game when we had two teams that was probably going to be 10-7 anyways, because neither offense is very good.
No, I love snow games. I prefer snow games in the regular season when, a championship is not on the line, because I want to see good football in a championship game. And that was bad football. It was almost unwatchable football. It was 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs. It was boring football because the elements had something to do with it. I mean,
So
it would be better if it was Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning in the snow, because I think they'd actually put up points. I mean, I think that how bad the offenses are in general played a
but
large
to
role. Why
you,
it was 10-7,
like
but
defensive football games, it's bad football.
it's not fun.
So it goes like this goes to baseball a lot of times too. Like, would you rather watch like a 6-5 game or a 1-0 game in baseball?
A 1-0 game in baseball doesn't mean that it's bad baseball, though.
Well, that's the same thing for football.
No, that means it's bad football.
Why do they not? Why does it not apply to football if it applies to baseball?
Because it's bad football.
You're talking about two of the best defenses in the league. That's why they are where they are. They eat in the AFC Championship because of their offenses.
Because their offenses suck.
And or Jared Stidham is not why the Broncos were in the AFC Championship. Drake May played a role, was an MVP. He's an MVP candidate. But for the most part, it's their defenses that got them there. And you got to see their defenses perform in the AFC Championship game. Like, what did you expect? This to just turn into a 42-35 game?
No, I don't want that. I'm saying you could have a good defensive performance and the game be 21-17 or 20-7. Like a one-score game where we at least see
a defensive performance.
At least, I mean, that's still pretty good defense. I mean, you give up 20 points. It's not. I mean, still, that's a better football game than what we watched. Like, you can have a good defense and defense plays a role, but give me a little bit of offense here.
That's an opinion, though. That's not a fact. There's got to be some people that enjoy defensive football, just like you enjoy 1-0 baseball games.
Well, those people are nerds.
But most people aren't going to agree with you and I, who are baseball enthusiasts.
No, I'm not.
Most people are going to like watching an 11-9 game more than a 1-0 game in baseball.
I don't want either. I want like a
1-0.
I want like a nice 5-4 game, a 6-5 game. I don't want an 11-10 game or a 1-0 game. Give me a little bit of offense and give me some good pitching.
So you're just in the middle. Both.
I'm in the middle. That's what makes a good game, is you get balance on both sides.
But
we are fair and balanced over here.
Football games where it's 49-42, you don't want to see that.
Those are fun though. If it's back and forth, those are fun.
Exactly.
They're a lot of fun.
Exactly.
But no, I want somebody to get a stop at some point.
Well, if they don't, the game's never going to end.
No, give me that nice. Give me that middle ground. I'm in the middle. I'm a middle ground kind of guy. I'm a fair and balanced guy.
Middle ground is weak. Like, take a side. That's a cop-out.
Take a side. All right, what side are you taking? You want 1-0 games, 10-7 games, or you want the shootouts?
I appreciate both.
No,
you can appreciate
Pick a side,
both.
Nick. Pick a side. Pick a side.
I don't want the middle ground. But there's nothing wrong with a 10-7 AFC Championship game between two really good defensive teams.
It was a snooze fest.
They were great defenses.
It was bad offense more than it was good defense.
No. What was it going to be, 16-10? It would have been 16-10 maybe if it wasn't for the snow.
No, they'd be throwing
the elements were played a role, but it wasn't the biggest part.
They would throw the pick. Drake May would have more than, how many passing yards do you have? 60-something passing yards over here? 86 passing yards.
Well, they didn't even try to throw it.
Exactly, because of the snow.
Well, they had the whole almost 3/4 of football before there was snow. So
I don't know. It was a snooze fest. It was boring. It was probably one of the worst conference championship games I've ever seen, maybe of all time.
which is because the teams aren't that good,
I don't
not
disagree with you,
because of the snow.
but did you see their records though? You say they're not good. I mean, they're
Right. It's
14-3.
I
Patriots are
I
14
know.
and 3.
I
They're
know.
both 14-3.
I know, and the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and I still don't think they're that good. And what their defenses are good, puts them in position. I give the Patriots all kinds of credit. They went out and spent a ton of money in free agency, fixed their defense, put them in this position. I give them credit. They got an up and coming quarterback. Need whoever won that game is going to get beat by the NFC
I mean, the Patriots lost to the worst team in football this year, and they're in the Super Bowl.
in the first game of the season.
Yeah, I know it's the first game of the season, but they still lost to the worst team in football at home.
Yeah. You're allowed to, yeah, losing to that Raiders team. That's just. I was
Should
gonna say
disqualify.
you're allowed to have
No,
a slip up, but that
if you
Raiders
lose, if you should get disqualified from the Super Bowl if you lose to the worst team in
brutal,
football.
brutal. So, I guess you enjoyed the other game a little more.
Oh, didn't everybody?
Yes.
That
Yeah,
game was amazing.
yes.
That was the Super Bowl. Like, if that was the Super Bowl, it'd be talked about for a long time. That was a great game. Against
You
probably, you would agree with this, probably that game featured the 2 best teams in the league.
yeah,
I mean, they were at the top of our power rankings on this show week in and week out. I was a Seahawks guy. You were a Rams guy. You know, we had them at the top 2 almost all the way through.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with
So, I
that.
mean, it was a great game. And if that was the Super Bowl, if the Rams were in the NFC, or if the Rams were in the AFC and that was the Super Bowl, like I said, it would be talked about for a long time about how good of a game that was.
But unfortunately, one of those teams had to lose. You
Yeah.
you had texted me during the game.
Yeah.
You didn't agree with some of McVay's strategies.
Let's see. I mean, it's been a couple days. I did not. That is true. Let me go back here.
Well, you had talked about going for 2, and
Yes. 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 So they're down 4. They score the touchdown. Was it somewhere in the third quarter? Let me go back, see when they had scored these touchdowns. Gamecast. So yeah, they're down 4. They cut it to 24-20 with 9:41 in the third. I understand maybe it's a little too early on that one to go
I
for
think it
2 to try to cut it to
100%
1
is.
score. That's fine. But then you give up the touchdown again to the Seahawks. Now you're down 31-20. And then you get down to that 2-minute mark in the third quarter and you get down 4 again. That to me is the time, all right, we're getting into the fourth quarter. I want to be down 3 points I want to be down a field goal going into that last quarter. And he didn't. He kicked the extra point again.
Yeah, and really, what is the difference if you don't get it between being down 5 and 4?
Nothing. 0.
Eventually down the
The
line,
only
it could
difference is
play a
if you
role.
go and score. The only difference is if you go and score the touchdown, then in the extra point, you're up 3 instead of 2. But you would probably still go for 2 in that situation to try to
But
make.
regardless if you're down 5 or 4, at that moment, if you get a touchdown, you're taking a lead.
Yeah.
I agree with you on the second one. I'm
Yes.
gonna go for 2. I'm gonna try to get it to 3. They don't do that. They're down 4. They get it inside the 15. They end up having to go on 4th down and really don't even get close to scoring. If you go for 2 there, you can kick a field goal and tie it. Obviously, they didn't have that. Wasn't an option at that point.
Right.
You're going there though, right? You're not
Yes.
gonna kick to cut it to 1.
No, you're going. You're going. Because that was late in the fourth, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going.
No, but yeah, I think the second one to get it to 3 to at least take a chance. The being down 5, being down 4 is not that big a difference. Um, but you're right. I mean, was a just a great game. The muff punt, Seattle pounces on it, scores. almost right away, and then the Rams, they answered every single time they got down, and the taunting penalty played a role in them allowing to
I mean, that
respond.
was almost game over if he doesn't get that taunting penalty. You got the ball back up 11, chance to go down and make it a 3-score game. That taunting penalty, ooh, that would have haunted him for a long time if they would have lost that game.
And and then immediately they went to Puka down the sideline, on like the next play
Which drive are you talking about? The one to end the game?
after the taunting, the 34-yard
Oh,
touchdown
yeah,
pass to
right,
Puka.
yeah, it was first play after that, wasn't it?
And was that the last points of the game?
Because they went deep. Yes, that was the last
That
points of
wasn't
the game.
so it wasn't super late. It was still in the 3rd quarter when they scored the last points of the game.
Yeah, the both teams got shut out in the 4th.
So
But they had the drive where they went for it on 4th down. I mean, that was a 14-play, 84-yard drive that took up 7.5 minutes. So it took up more than half the quarter. And by the time that they went for it, I mean, there was 4 minutes and
yeah,
54
less
seconds
than
on the
5.
clock. Yeah. So
Less than 5.
you had to go for it. But then, you gave up a couple first downs to the Seahawks after that. Like, your defense had a chance to get the ball back, just get a 3 and out. You would have had plenty of time, but you give up 11 plays and they took 5 minutes off the clock.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your defense had a chance and they just couldn't get the stop when they needed it.
But we had talked about Darnold, what he did last year as the 1 seed with the Vikings. Give this dude some credit, man. The first quarterback ever in back-to-back seasons with 2 different teams to win 14 games. And I mean, he throws for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks. Stafford, 370 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. And the Rams do end up getting the ball back with no timeouts left, with 30 seconds. We got to go the length of the football field. And they get like a 30-yard pass on first down to get them down to about the 30, 35.
Yeah.
And then they kill it, stop the clock, and then they hit Puka towards the sideline. Looks like they're going to have a chance to throw it to the end zone from about a little bit across midfield, and he's ruled down inbounds, and
Which he was. He
the
was.
clock's
It was the right call.
ticking, and the game's over. I wanted to see that throw to the end zone.
I did too. But then there was a play in that game that you had mentioned that you still can't figure out why that was a catch.
Oh, the Cooper Kupp across the middle.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp. Yeah.
I don't know what a catch is.
You're
I don't know what a
supposed to
catch is.
survive. Like, I don't think he made he caught it, took maybe a half a step. Was the foot even down yet before he hits the ground and the ball popped out? I mean, Des Bryant would like a word with the league on why that's a catch, and his back in the game against Green Bay in the playoffs, 10, 15 years ago, wasn't a catch. I
But
mean, what
was it
is a
just
catch?
me, or was I the only one thinking it wasn't a catch? I
No, I
didn't feel
was
like
with you.
anybody talked about it.
Terry McCauley didn't have anything to say on that one.
Like,
Gene, where was
nobody
Gene?
was saying anything. And,
Where was Gene when you need him?
like, I don't know. Like, he definitely didn't land, and the ball came out of his hands before he finished.
Yeah, you're supposed to survive the ground, and that to me, I don't think he took enough steps to make it look like it was a catch and run, because it wasn't. He was hit almost immediately. He lunged forward trying to get that first down, and the ball popped out. I mean, to me, it was all one motion. To me, it looked like it was all catch, turn, lunge, one motion. That when the ball popped out should have been incomplete. I'm with you on that.
100%. And the ball was on his fingertips. He did have possession. I don't think he finished the play.
There are plays that have been called incomplete that look very similar to that.
If that's a big play for the Bengals and that's T. Higgins and that's what happens to the ball, I guarantee you they're not calling it a catch. I just guarantee it.
The league's against the Bengals.
I don't think that's the case, but I just know the way my life works.
The way my life works.
but and also, like, say Puka's out of bounds, so we get a last second throw to see who goes to the soup.
I mean, it would have been.
It was close
what
enough.
yard line was? What they about the 40?
Yeah, they were
On
a
the other
little
side?
across midfield, but
Yeah.
it was close enough. You know what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Give them a chance.
I agree, but I mean, it was the right. He was tackled inbounds. We're not gonna argue that one because that was the right call.
It was close, but I do think it was the right call.
But let's just. I'm here to give Sam Darnold his credit. I mean,
You
the
have
way
to.
that he bounced back, like he's had the rap of he can fall apart in these big situations, like he did last year as the 1 seed in Minnesota. But and against the team that he struggled with this year, I sent you the text, and I'm like, man, regular season against the Rams, he had 2 touchdowns and 6 picks. And then in the game the other night, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah, he was
So
great.
he probably played one of the best, and on that stage, he probably played the best game of his career. And for a guy that was written off in New York, written off, and I mean, he was terrible in New York, written off in Carolina because he was terrible there. He was the backup, I'm pretty sure, to Brock Purdy in San Francisco for a year.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's dead. And for him to come back like he did last year in Minnesota and then to cap it off with an NFC championship this year, like, what a comeback story.
No, and look, how many Jets quarterbacks have we seen that have had great careers with being drafted by the Jets?
Is Zach Wilson gonna pop up somewhere and lead some team to the
Yeah,
playoffs and the Super Bowl next year?
I mean, it's
Probably
Mark
not.
Mark Sanchez is the last one to really have some success that was drafted there, right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, you should get a second chance after not succeeding with the Jets. But he sat
He
behind
didn't
some
succeed
people at
with
the
the
Panthers,
Panthers either.
sat behind who was he sitting? I don't remember who he was sitting behind
Where?
in Carolina. But
Was he
yeah,
behind
he went
Baker?
to huh?
Was he behind Baker?
I'm not 100% sure. I didn't know we were gonna go into Sam Darnold's whole
Yeah.
career. But you're right, though, ton of credit. And now you're a 4.5 point favorite in the Super Bowl, and that team's defense is incredible. Their coach is a maniac,
Yeah.
which I think that's kinda what you want.
Yeah.
We've talked about that several times. You just watch his post game on the stand, the dude just is a nut, and you want that.
I
And
mean, we talked about that in Chicago with Ben Johnson.
yeah,
That's the kind of guys that we want.
I mean, and Jigba's turned into
Yeah.
one of the
Stud.
top wide
Smart.
receivers in the league. Kenneth
Yep.
Walker's a beast.
Yep.
Like, I yeah, this game will probably be closer than I think it's gonna be, but Seattle's just uh, 4.5, I'm probably taking that.
Yeah. I mean, it's out west, so it's up in the Northwest, kinda where I mean, in a building that Seattle plays in twice a year, like, they're familiar with that, and they don't have to go very far. I mean, I know that teams get out there week in advance, so, you know, New England will be acclimated before the game, but, I mean, it's kinda home out there for Seattle, on the coast, so, I mean, it'll be business as usual for them. I think they're the better team. We've sat here and pounded the fact that we don't think the Patriots are very good, but Patriots are 14-3, and or in the regular season when Mike Vrabel was one of the better coaches in the league. So, I think it will be a good game, but I still think that the Seahawks come out on top.
Yeah, we can get into that more next week too, as we have. We can break down the Pro Bowl this week if you want, as the Pro Bowl's coming up this weekend. Um,
There's zero talk. We can talk about how pointless the Pro Bowl is when Shador Sanders is a Pro Bowler. Like, why do we even have that? Like, this shouldn't even be a thing.
it makes 0 sense.
Just cancel it. Cancel it.
Shador Sanders. Dude didn't start till what, week 13?
And it has
And then
more
when he started,
interceptions.
wasn't great?
Had more
Has more
interceptions
picks
than
than he has
touchdowns.
touchdowns?
And he's a Pro Bowler.
And he's a Pro Bowler?
I mean, that to me just says that every other starter in the AFC said no, they don't want to go to the Pro Bowl. And half the backups in the AFC probably said, no, we don't want to go to the Pro Bowl either. And they're like, well, I guess Shador Sanders is 35th on our list. Let's see if he wants to go.
Yeah,
And of course, he's going to say yes.
just cancel it.
I mean,
Just cancel it.
it's what is it? Dodgeball and tug of war. And
Flag.
have you even watched it in
No,
the last couple of years?
no.
I used to watch it when it was an actual game,
Yeah, but it still wasn't great.
but then there was just no It was just, yeah, boring.
Still wasn't great. And look, doing a exhibition football game is not the easiest thing because you don't want to get people to get hurt. The NBA All-Star game sucks now too. Like,
Mhm.
baseball's still the only
Baseball's the only one that actually is good.
but it's just the easiest one to do because you're not as worried about people getting hurt. If
Yeah,
they could play in the NBA, they just don't wanna guard.
correct.
But we now have a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Have you seen with Drake May and Sam Darnold, have you seen the painting or the portrait that they did at the beginning of the year where
Yeah,
it's got
and
all
all the
these players from the NFL?
players.
Like,
Yep, and look,
Saquon's at the front or not he's at the back, but he's at the front of the picture. Like, Burrow's there, Mahomes, and all the way at the front standing right next to each other, Drake May and Sam Darnold.
they are the front of the line looking,
Yeah.
yes, at the stadium, right next to each other.
So,
The conspiracy theorists are running wild with that one.
yes, and when you have a Drake May, Sam Darnold Super Bowl, it's not the it's not 2 Hall of Famers. It's
It's
not
not the
guys that
sexiest
have won
matchup.
Super Bowls. It's not not the sexiest matchup. Let's do a little team tall versus team small,
Okay,
little draft, where
okay.
we draft the worst quarterback matchups in the Super Bowl, and let's keep it our era. So let's go 90 as
Yeah,
recent as 1990 to where we are
okay,
now.
okay. Who's picking first?
You can pick first.
How many picks do we get?
You get 1 pick to start. We can do 4 each. Then we'll
Alright,
do snake.
okay. My number 1 pick in worst quarterback Super Bowl matchups is gonna come from the 2002 Super Bowl, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Oakland Raiders, and that game was started by Brad Johnson of the Buccaneers and Rich Gannon of the Oakland Raiders. A Brad Johnson, Rich Gannon Super Bowl is probably, to me, the worst quarterback matchup that I've seen.
Not a great one, and then it wasn't a great game either. I think Rich Gannon threw like 3 picks in that game. The Bucks were known for their defense, and they scored
They
48
were.
points.
Yeah.
So now I gotta pick 2.
Yeah.
Well, just 2 years before that,
Yeah.
you've got who was it? Trent Dilfer,
Trent Dilfer of the Ravens. Yeah.
and then the quarterback for the Giants was Kerry
Kerry
Collins.
Kerry Collins. That's bad.
So I'm going that. Another bad game. The Ravens dominated, and
I mean, that
they had one of
defense of the Ravens
they had
was
one of the best. I mean, it was the Bucks too, was one of the better defenses in history. But
yeah.
yeah, that Ravens defense was unbelievable. So I'll go Kerry Collins versus Trent Dilfer as
Yep.
my second pick, and
Yep.
then as my third pick, gets a little tougher,
It does get tougher.
but I'm gonna go the Harbaugh Bowl, Flacco Kaepernick.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Flacco had some good years in Baltimore, and he's been a good quarterback over his career. But when you look at some of the other names that are Super Bowl quality quarterbacks,
You and
he's
you
not
just
in the
look
same
at
spot.
so many of the Super Bowls have Tom Brady, have Peyton Manning, have Patrick Mahomes. It's hard to pick those because you've got surefire Hall of Famers.
Yes, no, you're right.
All right, your 4th and 5th picks.
Um, like you said, it's hard because there's some bad quarterbacks that have played in the Super Bowl, but on the other side of it are some Hall of Famers. You're looking at and this is not going to be my pick, but just for instance, in like '94, you had Steve Young, who's a Hall of Famer, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, against Stan Humphries of the Chargers.
Well,
So it's like, so you
half
almost
half
can't.
of the quarterback matchup is Stan Humphries. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like you can't pick the matchup because one's a Hall of Famer. But I'm gonna go probably with my next pick, the 2005 Super Bowl. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger, and the Seattle Seahawks, Matt Hasselbeck.
okay. That was the one I was deciding between Flacco and Kaepernick.
Yeah, I mean you could flip flop either way. Yeah, no, you're right. Um, but then you've got there's so many Mahomes and so many Brady's.
It gets tougher.
I'm gonna go 1999, and then even though he is a Hall of Famer, Kurt Warner and the Rams and Steve McNair of the
Ooh,
Titans.
ooh. I think that one's a little early.
You think it's too early?
Yeah, you got a
I mean,
surefire Hall of Famer, and
Warner's
Steve
a Hall of
McNair was
Famer,
good,
but
dude.
I don't know. He's a fringe Hall of Famer to me.
All
I
right,
don't know.
so you got to go 1994, 95 Super Bowl, Steve Young and Stan Humphries. I mean,
Just St.
it's Stan
Humphries that
Humphries.
bad.
The game was terrible, and
Well, I mean, it was a complete blowout. Yeah, that was a bad game.
then you've got a Chris Chandler game against Elway. You got a Jake Delhomme game against Brady, or you got a Rex Grossman game against Peyton Manning.
We have a Neil O'Donnell versus Aikman in there, as if you want one of those too.
Yeah, you do have that one too. Um, wow. Um, who was the worst of those three? Chandler, Delhomme, or Grossman?
It's got to be Sexy Rexy, doesn't it?
I think it does. I think I'm going Peyton Manning and Rex Grossman as my last pick.
Okay.
So you got one more.
Yeah. My last pick is going to be. It's bad.
I am mad that I didn't pick Roethlisberger, Hasselbeck instead of Flacco, Kaepernick.
Oh, yeah, sneeze. Ugh.
Don't you have a cough button?
Yeah, but I don't have my studio thing pulled up. I'm looking at the list of Super Bowl quarterbacks, so I'm debating which is the worst.
It's got to be.
I'm
I
going
feel
to
like
go
it's
Aikman. But to me, it's between the Delhomme Brady or the Aikman and an O'Donnell. But since Brady's the GOAT, I'm going to go Troy Aikman versus Neil O'Donnell in 1995.
well, Elway, Chris Chandler, that's not in the thought process.
No, because Chandler's better than O'Donnell,
Is
and
he?
Elway's better than Aikman. Elway's better than Aikman. I'm going to go Chandler over O'Donnell.
I'm not sure Elway's.
I don't know. I'm going
better
19. My last pick's going to be Aikman and Neil O'Donnell. Like, he just sucked when he was a Bengal, too.
Where does this year's matchup? How many is it worse than?
Oh, I would put this in the top 4.
It's better. It's better than Gannon, Johnson, and Collins, Dilfer, but I don't know if it's better than anything else.
You're sorry. You're putting above Gannon and Johnson and Collins and Dilfer.
And I think that's it.
Yeah, because neither one of these. I mean, Drake May's career is still to be written. He could be a Hall of Famer. And we could be looking back at this in 10 years and be like, man, that Drake May was awesome. But it's highly doubtful. So, yeah, no, you're right. You're probably right. It is probably the third worst QB matchup since 1990. I agree with you there.
But definitely not what we predicted unless you were doing that painting or whatever it is, and you knew all along that these were going to be the guys. We now know who the guys are going to be leading the AFC North teams.
Yes.
As Zach Taylor is the only coach returning in the AFC North. The Steelers are bringing in Mike McCarthy. The Ravens are bringing in Jesse Minter.
Yes.
And it was just announced today that the Browns are bringing in Todd Monken. And Jim Schwartz is not happy about it. And I think they just lost their defensive coordinator as well because he wanted the job. And even though he's still under contract, I think he walked out of that building pretty upset when he realized he didn't get the job. How do you rank AFC North coaches 1 to 4?
I mean, just by overall success. I mean, and I don't think that it was a great hire by the Pittsburgh Steelers. But Mike McCarthy has had success in the past as a head coach in both Green Bay and a little bit of he had up and down. He had mixed results in
I
Dallas.
wouldn't say he had success in Dallas.
He had mixed results. I mean, he went to the playoffs. Then he won a division title down there.
Maybe, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
would
not the
say that Mike
expectation of Belichick.
McCarthy is probably just based
I
on his
mean,
career
winning
is
division
probably
titles ran Mike Tomlin out.
I don't know, but you're at, like, out of the 4 head coaches that are in the division, I think Mike McCarthy, based on his resume, is probably the top.
Yeah, and you can't put Jesse Minter at the top because he's never coached. You can't put
Correct.
Todd Monken at the top because he's never been a head coach. So I agree with you. McCarthy's one. If I'm a Steelers fan, am I excited about it?
No, no. I mean, the team that I think should be most excited about their head coach and the prospects would probably be Baltimore.
I agree.
But, I mean, you just don't know yet. So, like, you can't put a guy that's never been a head coach at the top of a head
So
coaching ranking because he's never done it.
so
But
I know how bad you
first
want Zach Taylor out of there. Is he where does he rank?
5th.
Where where does he rank? 1 to 4.
There's the top there's those other 3, then there's some unknown 4th, and then Zach Taylor's 5th. I mean, that just based on that logic, he's probably number 2 somehow.
Which is
At the end of next season, I'm gonna tell you he will not be number 2. He'll probably be 3 or 4. I mean, I think he's a bum. When all's said and done, if I had to actually rank him, I would even with or without experience. Like I said, I think Baltimore has the most to be excited about in their hire. I would put that hire at number 1. I would put the Steelers hire of Mike McCarthy at number 2, and then I would put the Browns hire of Monken at number 3. Because I'm pretty sure Baltimore wasn't happy with Monken, and I think that's what ended up getting Harbaugh
uh,
fired is his loyalty to Monken, and Baltimore wanted to make a change there when he and Monken and Lamar didn't get along, was the rumor, and it's just the Browns. The Browns just somehow screw everything up. So I would put Monken 3rd among those new hires. So I would go Minter, McCarthy, and then Monken in that order of those 3 new hires.
as far as excitedness. Yeah, I would
As
agree
far
with that
as
order. But if you're ranking coaches in the AFC North,
Zach Taylor's 2,
I think you got to go McCarthy, Zach, Mentor, Monken.
and then Monken. Yeah, that's the right order. That is the correct order. But only because Minter and Monken haven't really done anything yet.
Also, if you don't take advantage of this next year, the schedule next year where you're facing, I mean, 10 coaches, and I think the Bengals are facing a lot of these teams next year. You're going to get a lot of teams with you're getting 6 games in division with the first year head coach. If you don't take advantage of this and get to the playoffs, you go to 4th.
Yeah.
You right away.
Yeah.
To 4th. You're behind Monken if you can't get to the playoffs next year.
You're behind Monken. Yeah.
I guess one more thing before we get off the NFL. The news yesterday, somehow, Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
It makes no sense. He's the greatest NFL coach of all time.
Is it just
6 Super Bowls as a head coach?
6 Super Bowls? Where's he rank all-time winning percentage? He's up there. I had it pulled up. This is the wrong one. I don't understand how he needed 40 out of 50, and
So
he
who
doesn't
vote who votes on this?
writers.
They are writers. All of them are writers.
Uh,
I mean, I think this is just the
and there's
writers
committee
trying to
members,
send a
I think, too.
message. It's just the writers sending a message to Belichick that, he was kind of an a-hole maybe for a little bit of his career, most of his career. And then the 2 scandals, if you will, with the Deflategate, the Spygate, and whatever other gate you want to call it. I think it's just a mess, just kind of like, like we're going to put your ego in check here. Like we know you're the greatest of all time. You are a Hall of Famer, but we're going to we're going to make you wait a little more because you were such an a-hole to us for 20 years.
It's not the way it's not the way this
I know it's
work.
not the way it's supposed to go. How else is there an explanation to why he's not in the Hall of Fame?
Dude has 6 Super Bowls and ranked 2nd all-time in wins to Don Shula.
So what's your
If
explanation
that's
of
not
why
a
he's not
first
in?
ballot head coach, look, I don't like him either. But if that's not a first ballot head coach, then
He's
there's
the
no such
greatest
thing.
coach of all time. He's the greatest NFL coach of all time. He's absolutely, no doubtedly, it should be 50 out of 50 votes. Get him in. First ballot, 50 out of 50. But he didn't. So what's your explanation for it? I just gave you mine. What's yours?
Well, the fact that when Brady left, they weren't very good. Does that play a role? I don't think it should.
No.
because you already did what you did. But when he didn't have Tom Brady as his quarterback, he was not that great of a coach.
So, you gonna punish Jimmy Johnson because he had Troy Aikman,
I
Emmitt Smith,
look,
and Michael Irvin?
you're asking me to try to figure this out. I think it's absurd.
Oh, because he had 1 year without Brady or 2 years without
Well,
Brady,
and
and they
before
weren't
that,
very good?
before he wasn't a great head coach either, before he got Brady. It's absurd. The like I said, if he's not a first ballot Hall of Fame coach, then they don't exist and they should never exist again.
No,
Dude
I
won
agree.
6 Supes and is second on the all-time win list. Yeah, he's a nut. Yeah, but you you see the highlights of the Malcolm Butler pick against Russell Wilson in the Super Bowl, and they
Yes.
run like that the 5 minute where they're kind of doing behind the scenes, and just watching him talk about that play and how everything that was going on, and they're all like, "Should we call timeout? Call timeout." He's just over. We got this. We
Yeah.
got this. We got
Yeah.
this.
I mean, there was more than just Tom Brady that won those Super Bowls. I mean, Tom Brady was a main factor, but Bill Belichick knows how to coach football.
Well, no kidding. But evidently, there's 10 writers or 10 committee members that don't think that he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And they should all have to explain what they think a first ballot Hall of Famer is. Because I don't care if you don't like him. Dude's numbers. Look at
I
numbers matter. Success on the
they do
field
matter.
matters.
And if you're like I said, if you're trying to make sense of it, which it makes no sense at all, but if you're trying to make any little bit of sense, I think that, like I said, those 2 scandals, the Deflate Gates and the Spy Gates, um, probably played a role in that, of why he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Maybe. And I just think he rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah, he does
The
that too.
whole the whole 23-year-old girlfriend, the whole thing in North Carolina, the Deflate Gates, the combination of all that maybe plays a role. It's and
Or
to be honest with you,
you think if he doesn't take the head coaching job at North Carolina and dates a 23-year-old girlfriend, he's in the Hall of Fame right now?
I would hope that it doesn't change it, but I'm just trying to figure out why these writers are being as petty as they are,
I mean, I
because it's
guess
just pettiness.
will these ballots become public like the baseball writers are?
They should. If they're not,
Like, they need to
they should.
they need to show these guys ballots and give me the people that did not vote for him, and we need answers. We need answers as to why,
Like,
because it doesn't make any
just
sense.
yeah, it makes if he's not a first ballot, then you explain to me what is, because I don't know how you do much more than what he did as a head coach.
Yeah.
You ready to get in a little college hoops?
Sure.
Now that college football's over, the Hoosiers are national champions. Now we can talk a little more college hoops.
Little B-ball, okay.
Um, I guess we can start in Ann Arbor yesterday.
Yeah,
Nebraska, they're down 2 guys.
yeah,
Mast was out, he was sick, and then Braden Frager's been out the last couple of games with a sprained ankle. So they were out without their second and third leading scorers. They completely control the first half. They hit like 10 3-pointers in the first half, got up double digits, ended up going to the halftime only up 2. It was 50-48 at half. You're like, and then the second half, the script flipped completely as they put a lid on the basket for both teams. After
yeah,
hitting 10 threes in the first half, I think they only made 1 3 from behind the arc. In the second half, Michigan gets a late bucket on what I thought maybe was a charge.
yeah,
Um, but this is my takeaway from the game. We already knew Michigan is really good.
yes,
And there were questions about Nebraska, even though they had started 20-0 and had won their last 24 games because they won the college basketball crown or whatever that tournament was at the end of the year last year. So they had won 24 straight games.
yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I'm more impressed with Nebraska at 20-1 than I was with Nebraska at 20-0. They showed me that much
Yeah,
at
oh,
Michigan last
yesterday
night.
yeah, yesterday was a big test, like, Michigan, it's no secret, they've been one of the better teams all year. They had that hiccup against Wisconsin at home, but before that, they were just beating the tar out of teams. I mean, they were winning games by 20, 30, 40, some even over 40 points. For Nebraska to go into Michigan, their toughest test of the year, and they led for 91% of that game. They led for 91%. The largest lead for Michigan was the final score, the 3. They won by 3 points. That was their largest lead of the game. Nebraska controlled that game. They led, like I said, 91% of it, down a couple guys. Like, they're for real. They answered the question of, can they compete with those top echelon teams? And last night showed them that yes, they can.
The first half, I didn't know if Jamarcus Lawrence was gonna miss a shot. And he calmed down in the second half just like the rest of the Nebraska team did, but, I mean, Jacobson, who doesn't normally start, came off the bench and had some big buckets for him when they were struggling to score there in the second half. M Michigan could win the whole dang thing, but
Yeah.
honestly, I think Nebraska's in that conversation too. And I think
Yeah.
if you can go on the road when you're down your second and third best scores and you get to you p build a lead like that against a team like Michigan, and you've got a chance there at the end to win it, it turned me into a believer. I both these teams are national title contenders, and I you gotta give, Michigan credit too for figuring out a way to win. It was freshman McKinney that had that bucket late, and he had a couple big threes too there in the second half, but,
I
um
mean, yeah. I mean, we like I said, we're giving Nebraska their credit. We agree that we think they're for real, and they have another opportunity, 2 of their next 3 games to prove us right. Like, they've got Illinois, number 9, Illinois coming in this weekend on Sunday. And then they have Rutgers, which will be an easy test. But then right after that, they've got
well,
Purdue coming in.
Michigan State should have lost to Rutgers yesterday.
Yeah, but I mean, Indiana just beat the crap out of Rutgers right before that. Rutgers isn't very good. But
Well,
number
they're
9,
not very good.
Illinois, number 9, Illinois coming to Nebraska on Sunday, and then 10 days later on February 10th, you've got Purdue. I know Purdue's lost 3 straight. They're kind of on a slide right now, but still a
Yeah, I don't
pretty
know
good
what's
team.
wrong with that team.
I don't know. They're still a pretty good team. So you've got Illinois and Purdue, 2 out of your next 3 after that tough loss at Michigan. So this is where you make everybody a believer if you're Nebraska.
Well, and like I said, they kinda made me a believer in a loss,
No,
which
yeah, they're the same. But now you have a chance to really go back it up.
and the other big game last night was Kentucky at Vanderbilt, and was not a game at all.
That
Was
wasn't.
was was nothing.
No.
Vanderbilt's playing without Duke Miles because we just talked about Nebraska playing without their second and third leading scores. They're playing without Duke Miles, their second leading scorer, and it did not matter even a little bit. Um, I told you Tyler Tanner's one of my favorite guards to watch in college basketball, and he had that ball on a string and could get wherever he wanted the entire game, could do whatever he wanted the entire game, and I know Kentucky's came back from these deficits, and you're like, I've watched them come back against LSU. I watched them come back against Tennessee. They were not coming back in this game.
No, I mean Vandy got up 11 right off the bat almost, like
Yeah,
very early, and it was just kind of lights out from there. And it's a tough setback if you're a Kentucky fan. I mean, you got some momentum going. I think they'd won 5 straight, 4 or 5 straight.
5 straight.
They beat a good Tennessee team on the road at Tennessee. They have come back from these large deficits, but they won the game. They found a way to win. So, you strung these wins together against some pretty good teams, and you've got some momentum going, and then just to go to Vandy and get drubbed by 25, that's yeah, kind of tough.
Well, a
Kind
couple
of sets
weeks
you
back,
back.
I had talked about how I think Vanderbilt is a legit national title contender, and they
And
went
they
on
lost a
right
couple in a
away to
row.
lose 3 in a row. They lost
Yeah,
at Texas, they lost to Florida, and then they
yeah.
lost to Arkansas. I I still think this team is really good, and the opposite of that, Kentucky's just not very good, and you can't make a habit of going down 17 and 18 and expecting to win. Vanderbilt's just better than LSU, and they're better than
Yeah,
Tennessee.
yeah.
You're not gonna have the ability to come back against them like you did against those teams, and Vanderbilt got out the big weapons on social media, tweeting after the game They just tased Ryan. This ball game is over.
I saw the high school video from where part of Kentucky was that high school game?
We need to research it, but that
I
video
saw that
is
video.
incredible.
It just tasted.
It's a middle school game. I
That
think it
was a
was a
high school
middle
game.
school
That was
game.
a middle school.
I think it was a middle school game, but the people are all over the court, and they're doing play-by-play of the whole thing. And they're like, "We
What
gotta
was it?
get out of
I think
here. We gotta
Ryan
end this broadcast."
wa wasn't Ryan a coach, one of the coaches,
I don't even
assistant
know
coach
who
or whatever?
Ryan was. They were just like, they just tased Ryan. So
His face is
Vanderbilt
out.
on their social media,
That's
that
hilarious.
was their tweet after the game with the score. They just
Good
tased
for him.
Ryan. This ball
This
game is over. And that
It's
the ball
good.
game was over. It was over pretty early.
That's pretty good.
Pope's teams have trailed by 15 or more points at halftime in nearly a quarter of their matchups against Power Four competition in his 2 years, and including Power Four plus Gonzaga. In 9 of 40 games, they have trailed by 15 or more at halftime. And I'm putting you to
Yeah.
sleep with those numbers.
I mean, that's it's not gonna be good enough, for those fans of Lexington. I mean, they expect better. So,
They just out of
like
you
I said,
watch.
I thought they maybe started turning a corner. They strung some wins together, and then this just kinda undid the last 2 weeks worth of work
It
for
definitely
looking
did.
at that.
Um, Monday night, you had Arizona undefeated going into BYU, and
That's the team. I think that's Arizona to me, I think, is the best team in the country. They're ranked number 1, but they're playing unbelievable basketball.
look, and we've talked a little bit about Koa Pete being one of the better freshmen in the country. But dude, their backcourt with Jaden Bradley, who came back, he was there last year, and the freshman who also this kid's on my list, Braden Burries, just an absolute stud. Their backcourt is incredible. And BYU makes that late rally, which I had kind of turned it off thinking it was over.
I did too. I did too. Yeah.
And then you turn it on and they're getting AJ DeMonts is going to the line and they end up tying it. And but two really good teams. Richie Saunders is fun to watch, but I'm telling you, Braden Burries, I know he's a freshman, dude, that kid's a stone cold killer and was a big
Yeah.
reason why they were able to pull it out, even though BYU made that crazy run there late.
Yeah. No, I mean, they they're playing the best ball. They've got, like you said, a couple stud friends. Koa Pete's the one that everybody talks about. But they're sitting there undefeated at what 20-0, 21-0 with some big wins already. And this is another one at BYU. I mean, I would put them and probably Duke at the top of the list as far as top teams in college basketball.
Yeah, I think you gotta UConn's got to be up there
UConn too.
as
Yeah.
well. Michigan. I think those are probably the three best teams. But the story of this year to me is the freshmen.
Yeah.
And on Saturday, we had three freshmen that scored 40 plus points,
I saw that. Yeah.
and seven freshmen went for 30 plus points. Keaton Wagler for Illinois, and Purdue's lost three in a row, but they played well on Saturday and just couldn't figure out a way to stop Wagler, a guy who is from Kansas, was not heavily recruited, gets 46 points on 9-11 from three. I mean, the most points scored in a road win over a top 10 opponent in AP history. His 46 points were the most against a top 10 team since Malik Monk had 47 against North Carolina. He was incredible. And then DeBonsa also on Saturday had 43 points in their win over Utah. He was
Yeah.
15 to 24. And then Kingston Fleming in the loss against Texas Tech for Houston had 42 points.
Yeah.
And then you had Boozer had 32, Acuff had 30. It just might be one of the better freshman classes in the history of college basketball.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've talked about this freshman class before. I think it probably is the best freshman class, in the history of college basketball. And you even got, the freshman up at Stanford who coming into I think he's the third leading scorer freshman in the country right now.
Yeah.
But coming into this season, he was ranked in like the ESPN, like he was like number 175 or high 100s. Like nobody'd ever talked about this guy, and he's come in right away at Stanford and just dominated, putting up big performances like against Louisville and against Carolina and against other good teams. So I mean, top to bottom, this freshman class, I mean, even guys that weren't even on the radar before the season are having spectacular seasons.
Well, and just to add to that, Wagler was 261 in his class, and the only other Power 4 school to offer him was Minnesota. And, you know, just to kinda add to this game's lore, Purdue lost. They had 82 points, shot 57% and had 3 turnovers, and they lost. Just kinda adds even more to the job that Wagler did to figure out a way to win that game. But in an era where we're seeing the portal and we're seeing NIL and more coaches are going towards filling their rosters with upperclassmen and guys that have been around, now we're kinda seeing it go the other way, the way it used to be where all these freshmen are really the best players in a lot of these teams.
Yeah, and to John Calipari's, concern is now when you're gonna start letting G League guys back in and you're gonna start letting, some guys that have had former NBA contracts back in to play college basketball. You said, like, the guy from the kid from Illinois that was ranked 246th in his class might not be going to Illinois. He
Yeah.
might not be on this stage. Like, he might not get the opportunity, if things go the way that they're going. And, there's the legal issue going on in Alabama on if their kids should be eligible or not. So, like I love to see the freshmen succeed. I think it's good for college basketball when freshmen succeed. Um, because it's like they're college kids, and it's good to see that they're getting their opportunities, they're making the most of their opportunities, and the whole issue of like eligibility of former professional athletes coming back is a whole separate issue. But I'd rather see these college kids succeed than a 27-year-old coming out of the G League.
No, yeah, I mean, we gotta figure this out. What's going on in Alabama right now? It's just it's all a mess. But yeah, it's fun to watch. I mean, these freshmen are fun to watch. It's gonna make for a really fun February and March as we get into the heat of college basketball season. We can't move on from college basketball without mentioning the Miami, Ohio Redhawks, who remain undefeated. They
They
beat
still finding a
UMass
way.
last night.
Barely finding a way.
They beat UMass last night, and they are what 21-0 now. Um, and to be honest with you, they're gonna be favored in the rest of their games.
I mean, their last 3 games, overtime win against Buffalo, overtime win against Kent State, 2-point win against UMass. They're flirting with that first loss, but they're finding ways to get it done.
Which is all that matters. And
Which good for Travis Steele. I mean, gets let go from Xavier, and then comes right into Miami of Ohio gets a second chance and just turned it around, and he's proven he can coach. He's gonna be one of those names at the end of the season if this keeps up. He's gonna be in line for another big time job.
their lone win against a top hunter in adjusted efficiency is Akron, but they're undefeated. They're undefeated,
They are
and like I
undefeated.
said, they'll be favored in the rest of their games. Um, I think who was the one team? It was Toledo. Looks like probably gonna be their toughest test. But anytime like road games in MAC play are tough. So I would say they're probably not gonna finish the season undefeated. But to get this far and still not have a number on that second column is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, when you're 20-0, 21-0, you've got things going the right direction. Like you said, they probably won't finish undefeated, but they're in line to where, I mean, let's say that they go whatever in 2 and get knocked off in their conference championship game. You still got to put them in as an at large, right?
Probably not.
No, not even in the MAC. MAC's like a be a 2-bid league.
Not with that non-conference schedule.
Yeah, maybe. Kinda
One of the
sucks.
worst non-conference schedules in 362 out of 365.
Alright, yeah, you're not getting in there. You better win your conference championship.
Yeah, they're still gonna have to win it. Um, Last week we talked about Brooks Koepka leaving Live and come to the PGA Tour. Said, would anybody follow? Patrick Reed's following. It's gonna take him a little longer because he didn't get that little exemption. He's gotta
Yeah.
he's gotta get it the hard way, and he's gonna play full time with the DP World Tour and try to get on qualify that way. Is this the
I
end of
mean,
Live? Like, are we
it's
slowly
it's
seeing the end of Live?
it's brick by brick, it's starting to collapse. Yes, and, the big domino that I think could really the wrecking ball that could knock the whole building down would be a Bryson coming back,
Oh, yeah.
and maybe a John Rahm, but Bryson would be the big domino that I think could really put the wrecking ball into the wall and knock the whole building down. So, I mean, Patrick Reed, Liv can keep him if they want him, but
Well,
good for him. I mean, if he wants to try to do it the hard way, good for him. Like,
he didn't get the other he didn't get an option
I
the
know
other way.
he doesn't have another option, but the other option would be like, you know what? I don't want like I'll just keep collecting this large paycheck, not have to do anything, not have to really put in any work, and just live a comfortable life. But he doesn't want that. He wants to earn his way back. Props to him for going out and trying to earn it. Like he wants
I
to earn it.
I
That's
ain't
fine.
giving it. Like his quote, "I'm a traditionalist at heart, and I was born to play on the PGA Tour."
I
Well,
mean, we
3
all know
years
that's
ago when they threw you the bag,
there.
you
There's
you were
you
you
weren't a
were really
traditionalist.
quickly leaving the PGA Tour.
Yeah,
And
him calling himself a traditionalist is just absurd. But
it's it's all absurd. And look, and all these PGA guys are saying the right things, but you're telling me there's not gonna be a little bit about you that's upset that these guys went and got the bag where they're getting hundreds of millions of dollars and they just collect their check, and then 3 years later, like, "I'm a traditionalist. I belong in the PGA." No, if you were a
I mean,
traditionalist, you would have said no to the money like the real traditionalists on the PGA Tour did, but you didn't do that.
and you would have played a golf tournament that requires 72 holes instead of 54.
Yeah, I just
And traditionalist like
look, and
that.
but I will say, no, I am not a Patrick Reed guy, but just like any sport, you do need villains, and he is a
Yeah,
villain to a lot of people, but I just they took the money, and now they're
yeah,
getting back in, and Liv gave away all this money, and they're gonna have nothing to show for it here in a couple of years.
yeah. No,
It's just
it's I it's a failed to me, it's gonna be a failed product. Nobody watches it, nobody talks about it. You go to live, you get forgotten about. Kepko has been forgotten about for the last couple of years. Rahm, Cam Smith, Dustin Johnson especially, like, all of these guys, nobody talks about you, nobody watches you. I know you're collecting a big paycheck, but at the end of the day, nobody cares.
yeah, there's very few guys on Live Tour that people do care about, but
Yeah, I don't think when Liv started out on this venture, I don't think that they accomplished what they expected to accomplish, which was
well,
to
I
be
think
as good or better than the PGA Tour.
they accomplished what they did by trying to getting some of the guys, but it was so expensive and it's not sustainable.
But
You
they
can't
got
do
those
it.
guys, but they had to get those guys to be successful. They don't have those guys, then you're really not gonna be successful. That was
Right,
the
and
only way that they had a chance,
but they threw him
and it
so much
yeah,
money, and you can't do that again.
I mean,
You can't give Brooks $400 million again.
you could. I mean, it's Saudi money. I think they have it.
I
I
think
think they could just reach in their
you
pockets and
won't
give it to them.
they run out of money at some point.
Do they? Do
I don't
they?
know. I don't know, but it's failed, and now it's slowly collapsing, and all these guys that left and took money, and now they're coming back at the PGA, and everybody's applauding them. Like, you still went and took the money. Like, I'm not gonna pull for those guys.
No.
I wouldn't have pulled for Patrick Reed or Brooks Koepka anyways, but
I don't hate
and
Brooks.
the PGA
I can
has
see
their
a
first
scenario why I would cheer for Brooks.
the PGA has their first event of the year, the American Express, where they're out in La Quinta, California, and Scotty just doing what Scotty does. Just
That's what he does.
three clear whole day on Sunday.
Was Rick in this tournament?
Yeah,
How'd Rick end up?
tied for 18th.
That's not bad. Good for Rick.
I'll take you take a top 20
Okay.
in the first tournament of the year.
Okay.
But Scotty just doing Scotty things.
That's what he
And
does.
I guess to close, the name of the show is the Height Differential.
Sure is.
We got a little height differential between one person.
One person.
Diego Pavia's listed height during his college football career at 6 foot, and Diego Pavia's measurement at the Senior Bowl, which was not quite 6 foot. It was not quite 5'11". It was not quite 5'10". He came in at 5'9" and 7/8. And look, dude, I ain't making fun of you because I would love to be 5'9" and 7/8. But
Yeah.
close to 3 inches, that's a big deal.
Yeah, you want to try to shave an inch or two, no, not even 2. If you want to try to up an inch, you might get away with that. You ain't getting away with 3 inches or over 3 inches. And I mean, that's one thing that you can't lie about and get away with is your height. Like when you go to the combine, when you go to the Senior Bowl, when you go to work out for teams, they're going to take your measurements. And if you're 3 inches different than what you were listed at in college, like you're not going to be able to get away with it. There are going to be some questions. Be like, bruh, this ain't just an inch. Like, what are you doing?
Well, I will say, like, working in the industry and working for a college basketball team, like, there never is a time when they get on campus to where you're measuring them and you're seeing what their height is. For the most part, you trust what their number was when they get there.
Okay.
So they're listed at a height when they come, and that's usually what you roll with. You don't adjust it. But dude,
Did he not expect to get measured again
3 inches.
before the NFL?
I mean, I think I need to start putting like 5'4" on the dating apps. It's going to give me more looks.
I mean, to be honest, you think a girl's going to notice the difference between 5'4" and 5'2" or 5'1"?
5'4" and 4'10". Yeah, that's half a foot. Surprisingly enough.
They don't know. It depends on if you get a well-educated girl or a not educated girl.
Well, I'd like her to be a little educated.
You want to be able to tell the difference of 6 inches, huh?
Yeah. 6 inches. But yeah, I just it's gonna affect. I don't know how high he was gonna get drafted anyways. He's got a little Napoleon complex, I think, the way that he's kind of acted after the season. And I mean,
was he asked about this discrepancy in his height? Do they do interviews down there?
Let's see. Yeah, my size. Let's see. He said, "Yeah, my size has been doubted my whole life. I feel like the only thing the NFL cares about is can you win, and I view myself as a winner. I've been fortunate with all these great teams that I've had. We've never had a losing season, so that's something to look forward to. I hope for the rest of my career that's how it's going to be. I feel like God blessed me in so many ways to be a connector, and I feel like that's one of my superpowers that I've got. I can connect. We unite, and then once you unite, you want to play for one another. And once you give 120% effort, there's no one that can stop your team." That's basically what I said.
Okay. Good answer.
So he didn't say, "Hey, I'm 3 inches shorter. I'm just going to quit." He didn't do that. He's gonna plug on and try to.
He wasn't like, "Yeah, guys, I'm sorry, I lied in
You're right.
college. I wanted to be taller than I
You're
was."
right. I wanted that
You
6
got
in the
me.
front.
Oh,
I
you
wanted
got
that
me.
6 in the front. I feel it, dude. I wanted the 5 in the front. I just never got there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I've got anything else for you. I was gonna talk a little bit about how ESPN has ruined the NBA pregame show, but I think we can get in that next week. You never know when it's on. Like, when it was on TNT, you knew it exactly when it was on every single week. Now they just sprinkle it. They take weeks off. They're running what was one of the better things in sports.
I mean, nothing will be better than NBA on TNT studio
But they brought all those guys with them. That's why they brought them to ESPN. They wanted to continue that, and they've killed it. It's not killed because when it's on, it's still good. There's no consistency. They take times off. With TNT, you knew exactly when it was gonna be on every single week. You tuned in
Yep.
to watch it,
Yep.
regardless of what the games were after. Now they're on Wednesdays sometimes. Sometimes they're on that, sometimes they're not on at all. Even Charles Barkley's complaining about it. I
Yeah.
said we'd hold off till next week, and now we've pretty much said everything I wanted to say next week. So
Rants with Nick.
that's all I
Got
got.
it.
It isn't because it is one of the staples in sports, and we don't
Yep.
talk a ton of NBA here, but it's one of the it is the best pregame show for
Yeah.
any
Has been
for
for a while.
yeah,
Yeah.
and everybody thought ESPN was gonna get it, they're gonna run it, and they have.
How much has your boy MJ been on the NBC studio?
He did one interview. He did one interview. They paid him like $40 million, and they're gonna sprinkle that one interview throughout the whole season.
But they were talking about him being a part of it.
Right, they did that one interview, and they're just gonna show
And
bits
that's
and
it?
pieces.
And
Yeah,
he has like, he's not live in studio at all, like, ever?
I don't think that's the plan.
That sucks.
I don't know.
Alright.
I'd be honest, I have not watched a ton of NBA other than Bulls games.
I mean, I'll start watching it more now that football's over, NFL's over, you know, when there's not much to watch on a Wednesday, Friday night, NBA will be on.
But LeBron went to Cleveland tonight, and
Yeah,
a lot of people saying it might be the last time he's in Cleveland. So ESPN
and
was
the
there, and
Pacers
they
suck.
actually had the pregame show, which I'm just flipping channels and happened to see that Chuck and Kenny Smith and Shaq and Ernie are on, and I'm like, didn't even know, didn't even know, and that's what made me wanted to talk about it. But
Alright. Glad you could get that off your chest before you went to bed tonight.
I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribing. Hit the like button on however you listen. Watch us on YouTube if you want to. Follow us on social media so you can see all the shorts. We cut all this stuff up so you don't have to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
Good luck getting out of your driveway tomorrow.
we gonna figure it out. We gonna figure it out because it's never gonna be warm enough for this stuff to melt. We got a whiles to go before that.
I mean, you got about as much snow in your driveway as Diego Pavia missing height inches.
That's true. That's true. But for the 6-6 Neil, I'm the 410 Nick. You've been listening to Height Differential. We'll talk to you next week.